afternoon, guys. Welcome. I hope you're all well this Tuesday afternoon already. And hope you had a good day wherever you are. Welcome to the Arsenal Huddle. And I am very pleased to welcome, and you all know him by now, or you should do. And if you don't, sub to him, make sure you do. And that's the one and only Shane GOONER. How you doing, buddy? You okay?
Yeah, all good, man. Absolute pleasure to be invited on. I jumped at the chance the second you sent it. You know what I mean? You're one of the ones that I was watching when I first started the channel, when I saw you on Leeds and on Northsides and everything like that. And one of the ones that sort of gave me a bit of sanity. I only started looking around YouTube because I was going mad talking to these Arsenal fans in my circle that were telling me everything's all right. You know what I mean? So I started looking around. I said, I can't be the only one. And then I found my people, man. I found my people that made me feel like I'm not going insane. And the same goes for the chat and stuff like that. It's nice to be, come on and do your show, do my show in the morning and have sane people in the chat. And it puts my head back on straight for the day. But I'm very, very happy to be here, man. I can't wait to get into it.
Oh, nice one, mate. Nice one. Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because you go around the channels and it was all kind of, you kind of get lost in it, really, and you just think to yourself, and then you stumble across sort of one or two people, and you think, this is the person for me. This guy's talking a lot of sense here. I understand what he's trying to say. I understand what he's coming from. Don't necessarily agree with everything he's saying, but then that's part and parcel of it. I'm not here for everyone to agree with me. I'm just here to just give my opinion. If you bounce back at me and people say, I don't really agree with you, okay, tell me why. That's your opinion, no problem. As long as we keep it clean and respectful, guys, that's all we ever ask, guys. But let's get into it. We can't not, can we? I mean, this roller coaster has been going. And just before I get started, guys, big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much again. Make sure you sub to Shane. It's all pinned in now, and make sure you follow him. Make sure you smash the likes and sub as well. Thank you very much indeed. All your comments appreciated. Yeah, Zubimendi, my friend. It's just going round and round and round in circles. 1 minute it was a definitely verbal agreement that he was coming way back when. I mean, it seemed months ago now. And it was a done deal. Then there was a kind of iffy kind of spell where he was sort of opening up his options. Then he was meant to have a medical weeks ago. And then when it got to the sort of the window, I'm thinking, right, okay, let's announce it. Let's get the job done. And then it never happened. But now, apparently, it's going to happen. What do you think about it all, Shane?
I'm the same as you. I'm tired of it at this stage. And the funny thing is, DJ, is that I wasn't even pushed about getting them in the first place. You know what I mean? No. I don't see the point. I don't see the point when we have Partey there. You know, I've said it before that if you would just started watching football and you watched us against Real Madrid or us against any of the big games we've won, and you saw Thomas Partey, you go, oh, I want him for my team. You know what I mean? The way he played this season. So I don't know. I don't get why we're downgrading. We're letting a player go who's better, to me, is better than Zubimendi for free, and then spending 50-odd million on a player who got bullied off the pitch by Casemiro this season. Casemiro, whose legs are gone. You know, so I know Arteta wants to slow the play down even more. That's going to be his new thing next season. Is he wants a player that Raya can just roll it out 10 foot to, and he can turn and play a sideways pass. But I mean, we already do that. I didn't think we could slow down anymore, but it's clear that's what he wants. He wants to slow it down with him. And then he wants the extra option of then just punt it long, which he does to Havertz. But Havertz, anytime Havertz goes for a header, he just grabs his head or whatever and falls to the ground. He does, you know what I mean? He's always looking for a free kick. So he just wants the option then to either play it short, and if we get found out for that, hit it long. I mean, this is literally schoolboy football. Quite literally, that's schoolboy. They're the two tactics you have when you're a kid. You know, if you can't pass it out, then you just punt it up to the big man. And that's how far we've come. That's how far we've come. But with the Zubimendi thing, I mean, to me, it's so clear that he's waiting for Madrid. It's so clear. He turned down Liverpool. He was waiting on Madrid. He's turning down us. He's waiting on Madrid. So even if we are getting him, we're getting a player who doesn't want to play for us. So to me, if I was going for a player and he said, oh, I'm just waiting, because obviously he'll speak more honestly with Arsenal, or if he kept stalling, I go, do you know what, we don't want you anymore. City did it. City did it with Burks. They wanted to sign Burks, and he was humming and hand. He went, you know what, we're moving on. If you don't want to come to us, then don't come to us. And that's the way we should be running our club. We're not Bolton signing an Elka where you have to sort of give him everything he wants and sell him the club. We should be the Arsenal. We should be going, do you want to come to us? That's enough. I've heard enough. You know what I mean? If you're humming and hand about coming to Arsenal, we're in trouble. Apart from him, a very good player, he doesn't want to come to us. He's replacing Partey. None of it makes sense to me. Maybe he'll come in and be a baller, and I'll go, right, fair enough. Good deal. But let's get it right. Out of what Arteta's 32 signings, 5, maybe 6 have been okay. So that's 1 in 6 signings land. So what's the odds of us signing 3 players this season and all of them working? There's not a chance of it. And I think he's going to be one of the failures. He's going to be probably the one that will end up working will be like a Sane on a free or something. He'll come in and do a bit of a job and go, well, that one worked. Sesko flopped. Zubimendi flopped. And again, people will say, oh, you're being negative. But for me, DJ, I just don't see any plus to this signing.
Do you know what, Shane? I couldn't have put it better myself, because I'm really not excited about Zubimendi, and I know people are going to turn around and say, oh, you wouldn't be excited about anyone that came into the club. Well, actually, I would. A brilliant attacking midfield player, you know, a Rodgers, someone like that, over Zubimendi all day long. My opinion's the same. This guy has been hanging out, hoping that Real Madrid would come in serious for him and pay whatever they need to pay, do whatever they need to do. And that's what I think he was hanging out for. The fact that Real Madrid, it seems like, kind of not interested now, or something's gone down where they're not going to get the ball over the line. It's now Arsenal. And I agree with you. He's a second choice player. He doesn't really want to be at the club. It's not his first choice. He's not really excited about it. He's expressed on a few occasions that he wants to stay in Spain and play his football. He doesn't really want to come here and play his football. Whether that's a confidence thing with him or not, I'm not sure, mate. But where does it leave Partey? Because for me, how I look at it, Shane, is that this Partey is being totally disrespected. I mean, the fact that he's had to play at right back numerous of times, and he's been asked to do a job. He's probably had the best season last season since he's been at Arsenal. He's getting treated like bullcrap, isn't he, by this manager?
Yeah, and the thing with Partey is, and I've said this on numerous occasions, and this, of course, I don't know any of this back, but I'm just looking at it. If I was Partey, and it's so clear Arteta wanted him gone, he would have got his contract renewed a long time ago if he wanted to keep him. He wouldn't have let it run down. If anyone wants him to stay, it's Partey coming in and going, listen, mate, you know, we can't keep letting these players go on a free. You need to start using them. That's why he's bringing back the loans and making them use them, which I do understand. I get that. But if I was Thomas Partey and Berta came to me and said, look, I'm here now, I want you to stay, I'd go, yeah, well, I don't want to stay. He doesn't want me. Why would I play for a manager that doesn't want me? And I'd be worried if I was Partey and I signed a new contract that Timber and Ben White are going to be in and out of the team next season. They're going to have niggly injuries all season because of the last season being absolutely flogged on knee injuries and thigh injuries. And, you know, apparently Timber was playing on an injury all season. The guy only came back from an ACL and he played about 50 games. You can't do that to a player. Ben White played for 3 months on a bad knee. So they're going to be in and out. So if I was Partey, I'd be going, oh, God, I'm going to spend a lot of time at right back next year. You know what I mean? So I'd be worried about that as well. And I'd be worried as an Arsenal fan about that. But if I was Partey, I wouldn't want to stay. I'd go, no, do you know what? Screw you. Barcelona want me. You know what I mean? You don't want me, and Barcelona do. It's a no-brainer. I'd even take a pay cut if that's what it took, just to get away from that manager. So I'm hoping when these players do leave, we need more to come out. I know Zinchenko in his book put something about he used to make them get off the bus without crutches if they had crutches before a match to make the teams think that they weren't injured and stuff like that. Apparently that's why Zinchenko's right. Right, so I'm waiting for this sort of stuff to come out when the players, because there's bound to be stuff. There's bound to be stuff. You can't be playing these players on injuries. But as for Partey, it's a no-brainer to me, an absolute no-brainer. And the funny thing is, when you were saying about, like, you know, so, oh yeah, people will say, oh, no signing will get you excited. 3 signings that I wanted that would have got me really excited. Looks like they're all going to United. Cunha, I wanted Cunha. I wanted Gyökeres and I wanted Mbeumo. And United, who aren't in Europe, are getting them ahead of us because we have a manager that is just one-track mind. I want these 2 players. I don't want anybody else. I don't want any, you know, don't tell me him, because he won't take anyone else's opinion. If he had a scout that went, you know what, you can't get Sesko, you should look at, no, I don't want to hear what you have to say. You know what I mean? This is my club and I'm the manager. So he's willing to drive this club into the ground, just like all the people that follow him. All the people that follow him that say, I'll support him till the wheels come off. No, they prefer to drive the club into the ground than admit they're wrong. And this is dangerous to me. Partey, I'd love him to stay, but I think if I was him, I'd leave.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a question here. Big up Static every time, my friend, legend, DJB Shane. A question for you: would you have Partey player of the season instead of Rice? Do you think he's edged Rice for player of the season?
Yeah, I think he played better for us than Rice did. So I'd put him all season. Rice had a good second half of the season. Granted, he was playing on a broken toe over Christmas, which is again insanity. How can you make a football player play on a broken toe? But,
no, I'd put Rice above him.
Partey, will you put Rice above him? Oh yeah, no, Partey was our best midfielder this season. I think
100%. 100%. I mean, when you think consistently from day one, Partey's been our best midfield player. Yeah. And as you said, Shane, Rice only came into his own. Another thing that worries me, let's say we do keep Partey for another season and we give him a year extended. So we've got Thomas Partey, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Marino. There's 4 defensive midfield players.
Yeah, and he only plays one.
I mean, make it make sense. I mean, what's going to happen to Marino now? Zubimendi's come through the door. I mean, is that going to be now? Because when you think about it, we spent all that money on him last season when we needed a striker. Yeah. He's now been used as a makeshift striker. So if we do get a striker, he's going to have to go back in his normal position, which is midfield, which is what we originally bought him for. Now Zubimendi's coming in. Is he going to be just surplus to requirements? Is he going to be a bench player? How are we going to accommodate this guy, Shane?
And after what, tripling, quadrupling his wages or something like that to bring him in, did we? He was on like 20 grand a week or something when we brought him in. And it's because he wanted Zubimendi last summer, couldn't get him. Oh, I'll just take the guy that plays beside him. It's like a kid. It's like a kid who has been begging all year to get a certain big toy, and you go and it's not there or it's sold out, and they go, just because they've been so looking forward to it, they end up buying something then they don't want just so they can buy something. And that's what it's like with Arteta going, oh, do you know what, I need a midfielder. We didn't even need a midfielder. That's the astounding thing. And we were on that stream with that other guy, I won't even say his name, with his, we only have 3 midfielders, and we're naming off all these midfielders, and we have, he's not a midfielder, he's a left back, and he's this, and he's leaving, and he's, finding problems where there isn't any, and they call us negative. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about a Morgan Rogers, and you and me have said this many a time. Lewis Skelly would be a Morgan Rogers. If you played him in the left 8, he would be exactly 100%. Like Morgan Rogers, grabbing the ball. I remember against Madrid, he got the ball just outside the box, and he wriggled through about 3 players in the box and flicked it across. And it was just like, that was just Morgan Rogers. He could play out on the left 8. You could even switch them around, put him where Odegaard is, and he can cut in on his left foot. You know what I mean? We have the players there to do these things, but he's decided. He's got it in his locker, Shane, isn't he? Skelly's got it in his locker, hasn't he? He's got it in his locker to be a really good attacking midfield player and save us millions of pounds. Millions. But this guy don't seem to be able to coach that. He's gone left back by default. So that's where he's going to pretty much play him now. Left back. But if he was to bring him in midfield in an attacking role, and then either sign a left back, which he should have kept Tierney for another season, if I'm honest, or if he's going to play Calafiori there, stick with Calafiori coming in at left back, which I don't think he's good enough anyway. However, if that's the road you go down, and put Skelly in midfield. So now you've got Zubimendi, you've got Skelly as the attacking option, you've got Declan Rice you can play in a 6 or an 8. You know what I mean? And if you really wanted to be brave, you could even move Odegaard into a more central role and play Wanyeri in the 10. Yeah. I mean, under any other manager, they would probably be looking at this. But with this guy, he's just going to stick to the same principle, isn't he, mate? Yeah. See, if you move to a double pivot in midfield, like we've had for time at Arsenal, Petit, Vieira, Gilberto, Vieira, you stay, I go. If I go, you stay, and that's how the 2 midfielders work. If we switch to that and then had the one attacking midfielder, i.e. a proper 10, where they're allowed to go where they want, not stuck out one side. You could have Odegaard and then you could have Wanyeri fighting him for that spot. And then if you have the double pivot, then suddenly it opens up. You have Marino, Rice, you have Zubimendi, you have Lewis Skelly. You already have 4 players that can play there. You can rotate them in and out, and they can both do a box to box. So the options are there. That's why I was saying that even if a new manager came in this season and didn't sign anyone, we would suddenly look like we have a bigger squad. because the players will be used in the right position. He said Zinchenko's a left back, but I don't like him as a left back, so he's never playing. Okay, but he's actually a midfielder. No, he's a left back. Yeah, but you can change your mind. You can play him in midfield. He's so stubborn and so single-minded that it looks like a smaller squad, and everybody just believes it. Like, you had a guy saying, no, Lewis Skelly has to be a left back. And let's get it right as well about him at left back, DJ. He was found out near the end of last season at left back. He was caught out several times. He's only a kid, and it's not his position. He's been asked to play there, and he was found out several times. He was caught out, with rash challenges. Should have been sent off against PSV. He got caught out several times with the ball over the top, and he'll get found out more at left back because he's not a left back. He's a left 8, or he's a box to box.
Absolutely.
Or a 10. He could play anywhere in the midfield, but he plays him out of position while we have 5 left backs on the bench. But this is the mess that we get ourselves in with this manager. And then people and pundits and all to start to see it in his way. So he gets away with it, which is crazy. They don't question the way he's thinking. Where we're delving into it, people go, you're just looking for negatives. No, that's not a negative. He's playing him out of position. It's simple as that. But, again, don't be surprised if these players, don't be surprised if Saliba wants to leave, because I said it the other day.
Yeah, we're going to get on. We're going to get on to Saliba as well. But no, Shane, honestly, I'm with you. And the problem is, all the fans are seeing, and a lot of the fans that are seeing are players. They're looking at the name Zubimendi. They're looking at the fact that he's a Spanish international. They're looking at the fact that he's played in Euros and everything else. But they don't look at the way we're going to be able to accommodate these players and the effect it's going to have on the team, or whether they are going to be effective. Who's it going to affect? Thomas Partey, it's going to affect. Marino, it's going to be affect. Who, by the way, they were all gassing up last season because he was scoring a couple of goals. Now he's going to be put on the bench when this bloke comes in, but they don't look at it like that. They don't look that Skelly can play in the midfield and become an attacking midfield player, or an option, or play him there in certain games and see how he fares out. All they're looking at is names. Oh, yeah, we're getting Zubimendi. Oh, yeah, look. Oh, yeah, we're getting this one. We're getting that one. We've got a question here. DJB, what do you think of the atmosphere this past season? I went to 2 games and I heard was the away fans. Well, I sit above the away fans, and on numerous occasions, we start off well. Got Ryan, and big up, mate. We start the game well. There's a good atmosphere at the start of the game, but once they start playing and we go back to our old sideways and backwards, the crowd just get bored of it, and the atmosphere just drains out the fans. It did me. After about 20 minutes, I was like, oh God, here we go again. I was bored. But yeah, big up the chat. Yeah, I mean, we talk about, we've got to bring this guy into frame now, haven't we? Yeah. Now, there's talks with Sesko, Shane, Saudi Arabia. Now, how I look at it, the Saudis have potloads of money. If they want to pay him 500 grand a week, it's nothing. It's a drop in the ocean, right? And now you got to look at it. If this guy, I think he's about 22 years of age. So if he goes to Saudi and plays 3 years in Saudi, he's made for absolute life. Him, his family, his future kids, whatever. He is made for life. But he's still young enough to go and learn his trade further in Europe. When he comes back, he's still a young player, probably in his prime. So do you think we're going to miss out on this one? Do you think he'll go Saudi, or do you still think, because there's reports about, oh yeah, he doesn't want to go Saudi. He is stressed that he wants to come to Arsenal and still wants to play his football more in a more competitive environment, if you like. Or do you think that's just hearsay, or do you think that this guy, if the money's right, it's going to be hard for a young player to turn it down?
Yeah, with this now, if it's not done by tonight, and then they can't be registered for the Club World Cup, I think then he will come to us. I think if it's not done by tonight, then he will, because they'll only really want him for that, and he'd only really want to go play in that. And that could be tempting as well, that they're only every 4 years, these Club World Cups, so they could tempt him with that. You know what I mean? That you mightn't get to play in one ever. It depends. If you're playing for Arsenal 4 years from now, we won't get to play in the next one anyway. That's for sure. You know what I mean? With our European heritage. But money talks. I heard Osman turned down 717 grand a week or something to go there today, which actually warmed my heart a little bit. I was saying it on my stream, if this is true, it takes the little shred that football hasn't completely gone the way of money. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to have respect for a player like that. Player who probably Arteta would have thought had an attitude problem before this. Why weren't we in for him?
Should we go for him, Shane? Should we keep our options open as well? Should we go for Osimhen and back into Osimhen?
I'd take Osimhen in a heartbeat. But Arteta, you can imagine Arteta trying to handle Osimhen. There's not a hope. Yeah. There's not a hope he can handle him. There's no way. I've said it before. These top strikers, the Osimhens, the Gyökereses, they don't want to play for this guy. They don't want to play for him because no attacking player wants to play for him. And Sesko is young enough to fall for it and go, well, maybe I can go here for a couple of years, and he might get sweet talked by him. But if that deal hasn't happened by tonight, then he'll come to us. But again, are you excited to get a 13-goal a season striker? Are we meant to get excited about this? I know that AFTV are comparing him to an Elka, and then there's other channels comparing him to Ibrahimovic, and someone else compared him to Robert.
That's an insult to an Elka, that is.
It's an absolute insult. Absolute insult.
Is it the same channel that said that Arteta's football, he'd rather have Arteta than George Graham and all this malarkey we have to listen to?
Yeah, it's that channel that they take Arteta's years over George Graham's years. Same channel, yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I can't get excited about Sesko. Listen, I'm desperate for a striker. I think any striker's going to be better than what we've got.
Yep.
But if you was to ask me, truthfully, is Sesko going to get us to that next level? I'm going to say possibly in about 3 years' time. But right now, we need someone right now that's proven, that's going to come in, hit the ground running, and score goals right from the start. We can't mess around, Shane. I mean, it's been too long, man, without any trophies. It's been too long finishing runners-up, too long being dumped out of FA Cups. We haven't got time. This guy, if this Sesko comes, right, and let's say he's pretty much over the line, for argument's sake, right? If this guy comes, is he going to be the one that absolutely 20 goals plus a season and take us to the promised land? Because I think under this manager, he will be very, very similar to Martinelli, personally.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. I don't see him getting past 12, 13 goals, and that would be a good season for him. The thing is with this, right, like people saying, in a few years he'll be good, but he's 22. You know, like when we talk, he's been playing at the top level for 3 or 4 years. And just even comparing him to an Elka, when an Elka was ripping the league up for us, he was 18, 19 when he was doing that, right? So these players, if they're that good, you will see signs of it at that age. I don't see anything from this guy that makes me think that, the potential's there. And even if it is there, Arteta's never improved a forward player in his whole time at the club. So he's only going to regress under this manager. And like you said, if you're another Martinelli, he will only regress under this manager. There's no way that he will get the best out of him. He's going to use him as a target man, and he's going to use him to run the channels, and he's going to use him to do all the hard work and track back, and just what Havertz does. And then he'll be so starved of chances that when he does get them, he'll snatch at them. You know what I mean? Because he's a young lad. The pressure is completely different. He's just another Havertz. And it's such a self-serving signing from Arteta, because we all know it. We all know he doesn't want a Gyökeres. He doesn't want a player that's proven who will come in, and if his numbers drop, people go, well, it must be your tactics then, mate. You know what I mean? He doesn't want that. He wants an excuse, and he wants more time, and he wants, guys, he's only been in the country 2 months, guys, and he's only a young kid, guys.
He's got to get out of jail card with Sesko, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got enough to get out of jail. I mean, big up Rashid. I mean, here he says, I want club signings, not Arteta signings. These players were linked to Arteta. Players, what the fuck is Berta doing? Look, I mean, I think personally, and I've said this all along, I think Berta's come in, and I don't think he realises what an awkward sign-so this manager is. You know, he's like a kid in a sweet shop, to be honest. And he's still getting his own way. And I think Berta's just going to play toe the line for now. You know, he's going to fall on his sword, isn't he? Let him get Sesko. Let him get Zubimendi. They're the players he wants. If they're the player he wants, then this team, the whole team, is all of his doing. And if he doesn't get over the line with any trophies next season, and the team doesn't perform next season, how on earth can he still be at the club? How can he? If he gets all these signings in, Shane, the Zubimendis, Seskos, all his men, all the signings he wants, and we're still struggling. How does he stay at the football club, and why does he stay at the football club?
How did he stay this season, DJ? When even the likes of Igal were saying that if he doesn't win, a major, he has to go. If he doesn't win this, and they just move the goalposts. He'll move the goalposts. If we're struggling in January, he'll start like he did this January, where he already started laying the foundations for failure. Oh, injuries, guys, PGMLO guys, anyone with this sort of situation will be in 15th. He started laying all those foundations in January. He's clever like that, and he lays it. And then people start going, oh, yeah, maybe he's a genius because any other team would have faltered. This thing, I understand getting him as his own players and stuff like that, but season after next, when Jesus is coming into the last year of his contract and he's still getting injured and we're going to have to, and he's on this massive wage, he'll have to go for free if we can. We'll have to rip up his contract. We'll still have Havertz on a big wage, and then we'll have Sesko, who, maybe I think Bertha might like Sesko for the sheer reason that he might have a bit of he might be able to sell him on regardless of how he performs. You might be able to make some of your money back because right? So I understand it from that point of view. Zubimendi the same. If Madrid don't want him now, they might want him next year. If he doesn't work, you can sell him to Madrid and maybe recoup what you spent. So I understand that. I like what he's doing with Lokonga. People are saying, what's he doing? And I think it's great that he's going, you signed him. You fucking used him. You signed these players. I'm not buying you anymore. You signed these players. You put them straight out on loan. You don't have to start them. But if you're 3-0 up, I want you to take off Saka and bring on Reece Nelson, or I want you to take off Odegaard and bring on Fabio Vieira. If you're playing in the cups, I want to see these guys. If you start pissing them out about injuries, I'll say, why didn't you rotate them? You know what I mean? So I like that thing of saying, no, you've signed these. You find a way to use them. You're meant to be a good coach. Coach them. Get something out of them. Stop using excuses. If he brings a player in, oh yeah, he's good. Oh no, he's not. He doesn't even try to fix it. He doesn't even try to say, maybe I should play Fabio Vieira just on the wing for a while because he's getting bullied in midfield. He can cut inside and I can use him on the right wing as cover. He just goes, out, get out, I'll go again. Because he, like you said, he's like a kid in a sweet shop. Buy me this, buy me that, buy me this. And then people saying, he needs to be backed. He can't be backed anymore. He cannot be backed anymore. This
nearly £1 billion. It'll be nearly £1 billion. By the time his transfers window's open, he's had £1 billion. And you got men telling me about the owners not backing him when this guy's had nearly £1 billion.
And then if you add in, DJ, the golden generation that's come through that U team since he's been there, Saka, Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are top players. Emil Smith-Rowe, these are all. Emil Smith-Rowe, I thought, had a bigger ceiling than he's shown. A proper manager would have got a song out of him. So he's been handed about 200, potentially a lot more million worth of young talent that he hasn't.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, if you factor in the young talent that's come out of the academy and how much they're worth, you're talking millions. I mean, and yet the lot down the road. I mean, he never even had that at Spurs to spend all on. Do you know what I mean? And he's gone, and he's won a European trophy. I don't know anyone. He says, "Here's Shane, DJB. What would you?" And big up Joseph every time, my friend. What would you think if the front three ended up being? Oh, he's sworn there. Look, he's swearing at us there. Shane, Garnacho, Sesko, and Saka. I mean, listen. When I first saw Garnacho come onto the scene at Man United, I'm thinking, this is a tidy player. He looks half decent.
Yeah.
All right. I've got to admit, I'm thinking they've signed. This is a good young player. But again, under the wrong leadership, under the wrong manager, he's just not developed, has he? And now we're linked with him. We're keeping tabs on him. And that would be that front three is not going to win you the Premiership. It definitely ain't going to win you the Champions League. That's for sure.
Okay, the top five.
I mean, we don't want to go down that route, do we, Shane? Garnacho, surely.
Well, as Joe, big up Joe, absolute legend, says, Shane DJB, what would you think if the front three ended up being Garnacho, Sesko, and Saka? I would think that's about right. That's about what I expected with this manager. Garnacho is a player, like you said, but when he first broke in, I remember saying about 2 years ago, I said, United are in bits. I said, but I like that Garnacho lad, right?
Yeah, he's got.
But now I'm thinking, since I've seen him, I've gone, no, his attitude's all wrong. He's just running into a cul-de-sac all the time. And every United fan in my chat is going, take him, please take him, right? So that makes me think, please watch him all the time. And I go, okay, I was wrong. He was just showing flashes. Some players have a little bit of skill. They come through, they look good. And then you go, you know what, he's not. I think if he went to Napoli or somewhere like that, he might be good. You know what I mean? But he needs, like you said, a proper coach that can coach him. United don't use wingers anymore. He's wasted there. They use the 2 10s in behind the striker. But if he did come to us for his career, in terms of his career, it'd be out of the frying pan into the fire, because he's just going to get an even worse coach who doesn't know how to use him. You know what I mean? So he'll be a flop. But don't be surprised if that's what we end up with. Do not be surprised. You could even add Sane in there. Add Sane in there, and that'll be us. And United are signing 3 front players I wanted. United are moving like champions. They'll get Gyökeres. I've been saying it for so long that they're.
I've said that, Shane. I'm 100% behind that. I reckon they'll get Gyökeres. I mean, they're going to have some forward line, aren't they? They're going to have Gyökeres and Mbeumo. They're going to
aim for top 4 with that, DJ. They should be aiming for top 4 with that front line.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, we without a doubt. I mean that Mbeumo, I really rate him. I think he's I think he's a real good player, top player. You know, he's lively. He's just what we need. He's just what we need, and we're not. You know, again, we're not going for him. It's just crazy. And you got Eze, man like Eze.
What a player.
You know, but we're so fixated on this manager, what he wants. He wants Zubimendi. He wants Sesko. So all the other players like your Ezes and your Mbeuemos and your Wissers and players that would come in and do a job, or really good, strong bench, we're just letting them go by the wayside. And they're just signing for other teams and Man City and everything else. And it's the same every single time. I mean, what gets me with players like Garnacho is, with the Garnacho, and I'll put Martinelli in that bracket, Trossard, players like this, I believe there's players there under the right manager.
In another team.
I believe there's players there. I mean, if you put Garnacho under a different coach and get him away from Man United, I mean, why would you want to jump out the fire into a frying pan and come to Arsenal? Seriously, because that's all you'll be doing. It's just going to be like for like. I believe there's a player there somewhere. I don't want him at Arsenal. I think we should be looking at better things than that, to be honest. Yeah. We should be looking at better things than that. Big up, Static. Take care, my bro. There you go. But yeah, no, welcome to the chat. Welcome everyone. Make sure that you smash the likes. Everyone is welcome. Make sure you're following this man here, Shane GOONER. He does all his breakfast shows and the Full Irish, and he's putting out some brilliant content, guys. So make sure that you follow him all the time, every time, my friends, all the time. Now we've got so we talk about Berta and that, Shane, and see, I believe when he came in, I don't think he realised how big the job is, because, in my opinion, he's not just about signings. See, a lot of the Arsenal fans think that, he's the man at signings. He's the one that should be doing all these signings. But he's got things like this to sort out, hasn't he? Contracts. Now, this to me, I don't know about you, Shane, but this is someone, along with Gabriel, we need to nail down. I know he sort of. I don't know about you, Shane, but towards the end of last season, to me, he kind of tailed off a little bit. His head might have been turned. He weren't really on it. But on the whole, this guy is a top player. And it says Arsenal's William Saliba's stance as Gunners make a dramatic transfer U-turn on 70 million star, and that star is Mark Gahey, apparently, which is another top player. But his contract's up. He's got. I mean, I think he's got 2 seasons, 2 years left, which in football terms, you know, I'd like to get it done. I don't really want to see this going into his last year and last couple of months and all of that. Do you think if the right offer came in for Saliba, would you be happy to sell him, or is he one of the players that you would sort of walk over hot coals to keep?
If he doesn't want to be here, sell him. That's my view on every single player all the time. If they don't want to be here, sell them. Not even about money. If his head's being turned, that's what it's felt like at the tail end of last season. He looked disinterested at the end of the game when there was all the footage of him looking miserable. People say, "Oh, because he was injured." I say to this day, it's because I think a day before Madrid announced they'd signed Dean Howson from Bournemouth, and I think he was thinking, "Shit, I'm stuck here for another year." Honestly, I think that's what was going through his head. So if he doesn't want to be here, cash in on him. I think he is a Rolls Royce player. I'm with you. I think he is. He has the highest ceiling of every player in our team. I think he is the one that could go to the very, very top if he steps it up a bit. I think he's got everything that you want in the centre back. But he reminds me of David O'Leary, actually. David O'Leary in his pomp.
Yeah, facts.
But if he doesn't want to be here, you have to cash in. Now, again, I don't mean to bring it up, but this is the mindset of these top Gooners. His idea was keep him for 2 years, let his contract run down, let him go for free, then you get 2 years out of him. Keep an unhappy player for 2 years and get nothing for him. But like when you're dealing with that sort of mindset, if he wants to go, sell him now. You could get 80 million for him. You know what I mean? You could probably get more if you really held out for it. But he's not going to go. He's not going to stay in England for one thing. If he is going, it'll be Madrid. And now I think PSG might be on his radar because PSG are now looking like they could be the best team in the world. He might be thinking, you know what? I could go back to France now, play for PSG, ball out under fucking Enrique. You know what I mean? Become part of the team, go to the World Cup, all that sort of stuff. Well, he won't get it done in time for the Club World Cup. But if he wants to go, you have to sell him, DJ. That's my view. I don't know your view on it. Would you just?
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I don't think anyone's bigger than the football club. You either want to play for Arsenal or you don't. If you don't want to play for Arsenal, then fine. Hold your hands up. Move on. Don't mess about in big games. You know, if you're really, really not happy, then express it with the manager or the powers to be. I don't want to see players that are not happy putting in stinkers. Do you know what I mean? And just going through the motions. Because next season for me, Shane, is do or die. I'm not being funny, but it's kind of critical now. And every single player, when they cross that white line, they have to be putting in 9 out of 10 performances. And if your head's turned and you're not happy and you can't do that, then I agree with you, mate. It's time to move on. But Saliba won't have a problem of moving to a big club, will he? I'm sure a lot of big clubs would come in for him.
Yeah, I think everybody would be in for him. Including City, including everybody would be in for him.
How much do you reckon he'd be worth, Shane? How much do you reckon he'd be worth?
I think minimum 80 million. Minimum 80 million.
Yeah, that's
what. It'd have to be 80. I'd say you could touch it to 100. But the way Arsenal do business, we'd have to say what we get with it. Maybe Bertha might get a bit more from. But I think as his age, his stature, and now the stuff that comes into it as well, his brand. You know what I mean? He's a good looking lad. He's it's all that comes into it. You know what I mean? So he'd be big he'd look good in a Madrid shirt. You know what I mean? He'd wear a Madrid shirt well. You know that way, and that's the type of shit they look for. But you know what I mean? But Barcelona would be in for him if they had the money. But again, if he wants to go, I'd let him. I would try and fight for him. Someone put up there saying, "Oh, wasn't Gabriel unhappy?" I don't think he ever was, man. I think he got dropped at the start of not the season gone, the one before, because Arteta wanted to squeeze Rice and Partey in the same team.
Oh, do you remember that against Fulham? I think it was Fulham at home, wasn't it? When he dropped him. 2 or 3
games he did it. Yeah, first 2 or 3 games, and the Fulham
he dropped him, didn't he?
And they were down to 10 men.
I was there at that game, and it was absolutely shocking. We was all scratching our heads, thinking, why ain't Gabriel playing? That's when he played right. That's when Partey played at right back.
And he pushed Ben.
That was his first game. He played right back. He dropped Gabriel for no reason at all. We thought he'd got an injury or something like that, but no, he wasn't injured.
He wanted to squeeze. He wanted to play Rice in the 6. He played Rice in the 6, so and then he couldn't play Partey, so he put Partey at right back, and then he pushed Ben White across, and then he put Gabriel on the bench. And people saying, "Oh, his head's being turned by Saudi," but there was never any proof of that. Never any proof of that. He just got annoyed because he got dropped for no reason. Then the manager wanted to squeeze in his new toys. That was it. He had signed Rice and Havertz, and he wanted to squeeze them all in. He wanted to put Havertz in the left 8. And he put Rice at the 6, and we drew 2 or 3 games out of the first 6 or 7 games that season. Everybody says, "Oh, we were so close to City." If he hadn't messed around at the start of the season, we wouldn't have dropped those points. We were 2-1 up against Fulham at home, and we let in a goal from a corner, ironically, which Gabriel probably would have cleared.
Oh, mate, I remember that game well. Honestly, that was unbelievable, and that was another turning point for me. That was another kind of, oh, what's this manager doing? And then it just escalated from there. I mean, there was some crazy decisions. It's like his in-game management, though, isn't it, Shane? You look at games and you just think to yourself, right, make a change, do something, switch it up. Try something different. The game's running away from us. We need more of a threat in the final third. Why is he not seeing these things? Is it just because he's stubborn? Is it because he thinks he knows best? Is it because he's worked under Pep and he thinks he can manage the club the same way? Why won't he? What I'm trying to say is, why won't this guy gamble? Why won't he take chances? What is he afraid of?
I think you're right. I think it's stubbornness. It's narcissism and stubbornness. It's, I will not be told. You know what I mean? Do not tell me how to do this, how to do that. I mean, we just have to look at the PSG game. The way, like, throw Wanyeri on. Throw Wanyeri on. Throw Zinchenko on in midfield. Make something happen. Try something different. Take a defender off. Put another player up front. The game's over. You may as well go for it. You know what I mean? But it's like he's punishing a player still and risking the club. And this is the thing. I sometimes play this funny rant on my channel from a guy from when I think we went out to Olympiacos in the Europa League, so 4 years ago, right? And he took we needed a goal. We'd lost the first leg 2-1 away, and we were at home, and it was 0-0. And he took off Aubameyang, and he brought on Willian, and they were still passing the ball around outside. And your man's ranting, going, just roll the dice, you take a chance. So this is 4 years ago. So he hasn't learned anything in that time.
He doesn't learn from it. He doesn't learn, does he?
Manager. It's the same mistakes, and he will not learn because in his world, he can't be wrong. He cannot be wrong, because how could he be wrong? Because in his head, if he's wrong, then the world makes a little less sense to him. You know what I mean? How could he be wrong? He's so stubborn. Everybody was screaming at their TVs or screaming at the match for that second leg, go and throw someone on, do something. And it was just the same thing, like for like substitutions. Bring on another defender. What are we doing? I remember he brought on Calafiori. I was like, oh, come on, man. What? And then I was like, okay, maybe he's going to put Kelly into midfield.
Yeah,
maybe he's going to put Kelly into midfield. No. That was it. But it's all the time, especially big games. He doesn't know how to handle big games.
Yeah. If you wanted a highlight, I mean, Shane, do you know what? England, I can't get excited about these games. Do you know what time it's on, my friend, for this lady?
Quarter to eight.
What?
Quarter to eight, I think.
Quarter 8, 7:45, my friend. Thank you very much. 7:45, the big England game. Yeah. Big up the chat, by the way. Thank you for all your comments. Make sure you're sub and smashing the likes. It will help us both out. It really would. We're building a community here, guys. We're all real. As I said, everyone, Lawrence, every time, morning or evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Morning, lads. Yeah. Big up, Lawrence. Every time, my friend, legend, real one as well. Like you all are, guys. Absolute world-class chat, as Aaron would say. Glad DJB decided to have his way to becoming a YouTube rock star. I'm doing my best, friend. Listen, it's not easy. Listen, I'm just here for the ride, guys. I'm just trying to support everyone else that wants the best for our football club. It's not good times for me. It really ain't. I mean, as I said, everyone knows I've been following them for a very, very long while, and I'm worried long term. Long term, I'm absolutely worried. But getting back to the Arteta and certain games in the season, that was for me, Shane, was the PSG. Now, second leg PSG, we're going out of the competition. This is a football club that's never won it. Our record in Europe is absolutely diabolical, right? We're going out of the competition. Now, I don't know about you, but I would rather go out trying than going out miserable, if you know what I mean. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
If he'd have tried different things and, say, bought Martinelli, played him in the centre, put Trossard out on the left, bring Odegaard into the middle as a more attacking role, take Saka off the right, put him up, anything. We're going out anyway. Whether we'd have been beaten 3-0 or 4-0, it doesn't matter. If he started to do things like that in games and it didn't come off, would he still take the same criticism, do you think? Or do you think people would go, well, hang on a minute, at least he's trying. At least we can see that he's trying different things. He's trying to make things happen. How do you feel on it?
DJ, we're proper football fans. We know football, right? And we love football. That he would get a lot more slack off you, me, and I'd speak for Aaron, people like that. I'm pretty sure we'd still want him out, but we definitely lay off a bit and go, at least he's trying something. At least he's trying something. It's the frustration of him being stubborn. And you can see it with the way he gets rid of players. Tierney, never getting back in the squad. You were never getting back in the team. You can train, turn up 2 hours early, go 2 hours late. You've made up your mind. You're never getting in. He's too stubborn. But I remember watching about a month ago, I watched highlights of, it was Arsenal away to Bolton, who used to be our bogey team, actually. And this is like 2007-8, I think, when we were still kind of slight, but we challenged for the league that season. We had Fabregas and stuff like that. Bolton went 2-0 up at home, right, at the Reebok. We then went down to 10 men, and we came back and won 3-2, right? So Wenger used to always say, if you're losing and there's 10 minutes left, throw everything at it. You may as well lose 4-0 than lose 1-0 and not try. You still lose. So you may as well just go for it. Granted, it backfired sometimes on him when he lost 6-0 to Chelsea and games like that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But how many times, people never talk about the times it worked. How many times did he, in 97, 98, between then and the Invincibles, how many times, we went down to 10 men all the time with Vieira getting sent off, and, Petit got a couple of red cards, and Tony Adams got red cards. We won so many of those games because he just still went for it. But this manager, watching that game against PSG, we all just knew it was coming. And the thing was, you and Aaron said it, that you were at the home game, and you said that tie was over after 3 minutes. And
100%.
It was done 100%. It was done.
Do you know what, right? Yeah, no, sorry, Shane. Go on, carry on, my friend.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just saying, the thing is that with that, in the second leg, because the players were so shattered, and we've been calling it for ages. Aaron called, Gabriel drop, and I called Timber drop. And we all knew these lads were going to drop because we can see that they're in the red. It's so clear when they're getting pushed back out of the pitch and stuff. So he knew going into that second leg. Someone told him, and I can guarantee you, someone in the medical team said, they've got about 20 minutes of, these lads have about 20 minutes of running in them. And we went at them for 20 minutes. And the second that PSG got a hold of the game, I was doing a watch along with Carl. I went, that's us done now. That's the last attacking we'll do. And you can see it. PSG didn't get out of second gear in those 2 legs. Villa gave them a fright of their life. And Liverpool were played off the park, but they still did closer than us. They didn't get out of second gear against us. They didn't have to. No,
facts, mate. And do you know what, right? When we beat Real Madrid, we had a massive over-excitement, over-expectations. And I was saying it all along to the people that sit around me and everything else. And then one of them actually said to me, oh, you don't seem that excited. I said, look, I'm over the moon with beat Real Madrid. Brilliant performance. And I was jumping up and down, and 2 brilliant free kicks. We came out the stadium. The stadium was buzzing. Everything was just bang on. But there was a piece of me thinking, we ain't there yet. Mm-hmm. This would be typical of this manager now against PSG to not do the business. Do you know what I mean? It would be absolutely typical, right? And I wasn't getting excited. And then when I went to the PSG game, the buzz before the game, it was kind of, I don't know, there was this sort of excitement, as you would expect, a semi-final, but there was this like, oh, I'm not sure. And then when we kicked off, straight away when we kicked off, PSG, you could see it. You could actually sense it. Their fans, the way they played, right from the start. And then when we conceded the goal, I said, that's it. There's no plan B. There was no plan B. We didn't really threaten. I think Donnarumma made a couple of good saves. But you're right. But for me, if ever you wanted to make your mind up, whether you was Arteta in or whether you support the manager or don't support your manager, that second leg against PSG told you everything you need to know about this manager in big games. Long ball, long throw-ins, Raya all season passing the ball passing it to midfield players to feet, passing it out from defence.
Yeah.
That all went out the window. Long ball, punting forward, one after the other one, and it was just an absolute mess. And do you know what, Shane? I can see the same next season, my friend.
Yeah, it's going to be worse next season, DJ. And the thing about the first leg was, even before the goal, it's 3 minutes, the second the game kicked off, about 20 seconds into it, I turned around to my missus. She's a big Arsenal fan as well. And I was furious. I said, why are we defending like the away team? We straight away went into a low block.
Yeah.
Right, went into a low block, like we were defending the lead straight away. And we had all said in the lead up to it, we need to come out of the blocks, hit them hard first. Let them. We saw what Villa did at home. Villa came out of the blocks and smashed them. They took them, especially in the second half. Villa came out of the blocks and PSG couldn't handle it. So why wasn't he watching that game? The second that match kicked off, PSG got control of the ball and all 10 players went back in a line, in 3 lines, 4-4-2. And I was like, what are we doing here? Why are we defending? 3 minutes later, it's a goal and you get what you deserve. We went straight in. We were cowards in the first leg, absolute cowards. And that all comes back to the manager. The players didn't go among themselves, you know what we should do? We should just lock up at the very start. He said that at the start. Make sure you lock up. In his head, it probably made sense. Oh, they won't be able to pass through us. Yes, they will. It's PSG, mate. You know what I mean? Have you not watched them yet? Do you not do your research? So we to me, even before the 3 minutes are gone, we had lost that just with our attitude of we're just going to lock up at home in the first leg. I would understand if we had won the first leg away 1-0 and you say, right, we'll lock up at the start, frustrate them, and then we'll start to play. But to start the first leg at home on the back foot, you deserve everything you get. You deserve everything you get. And it all comes back to the manager. People say, oh, injuries or whatever. Number one, Saka shouldn't have been on the pitch. You know what I mean? Timber shouldn't have been on the pitch. All these players were injured. So, but it all comes back to him, DJ. And we say it through. We say it all the time. And it's like we're repeating ourselves. And then, of course, when these top gooners get one thing right, oh, Madrid, I said we'd beat them. Yeah, but you say we'll win every game. So you're going to be right sometimes. You know what I mean? They're just not realists. They're not realists.
It's not real. It's cuckoo land, isn't it? But the problem is we see it so many times. Man United in the FA Cup, very, very similar. Slow build up, sideways passing, no real kind of in-game plan. When we couldn't break them down against 10 men, I just remember, do something different. Try something different. No. Newcastle just got picked off. We was like apples off of a tree, you know. It was just too easy. And this is what worries me. And this is why I question going into next season, because certain managers will look at themselves and go, right, I've learnt my mistakes there. I've learnt my mistakes from the Carabao Cup semi-final. I've gone to the Champions League semi-final. There's a few things I should try differently. But you just know this guy's not going to do it. You just know he's not going to do it. And I think the first 5 games are going to be really key next season. And I think the fixtures list comes out, 17th of June, something like that, around about 19th of June. It'll be really, really interesting who we get the first 5 or 6 games, because they're gonna set the benchmark for this football season going forward. Yeah. I can really sense that myself. I've got a couple of that I starred here, guys. Couple of questions. Big up, guys. Question, DJB and Shane. Are you surprised about? Oh, we've had that one, haven't we? So, surprised about signing Garnacho. I am. He's terrible. We did touch on it earlier, my friend. Big up. But nothing surprises me with his club. I don't know about you, Shane. Nothing surprises me. I'm
not surprised at all. Not surprised.
And it wouldn't.
If it was Mudweki or someone like that, I wouldn't be surprised either. I wouldn't be surprised with anything at this point.
No, I can't have Mudweki, mate. I can't have the Chelsea Whoopi Goldberg. I'm sorry. I can't be doing with that. No way. No, but nothing surprises me. And in actual fact, we'll probably get this one over the line quicker than all of them.
Yeah,
we will. You real talk. You know what's going to happen. Question: if and when we get a striker, does that put Havertz in the midfield? Good question, my friend. Big up. If we get a striker, does he still persist with Havertz in midfield? Of course he will. Of course he will. He's gonna die on the hill with this Havertz signing.
Yeah. This
is why he wants Sesko. He wants Sesko because he can rotate with Havertz. If he signs an out-and-out striker like Gorka Havertz is on the bench. He ain't getting a look in. I want to know where he's going to play.
Sesko. Any game Sesko starts up front, Havertz will be in midfield.
Where's he going to play though? Where's Havertz going to play? Because if Zubimendi comes in, so you've got Zubimendi Rice. He's not going to drop Odegaard, even though he should be dropped. He's not going to drop Odegaard. You're going to have Saka on the right. If Martinelli stays, Martinelli's going to be on the left. Where's he going to put Havertz?
Who knows? Who knows with this guy? He will find a way, though.
He'll find a way. Of course he will. For you, do you think the striker solves our problems with Arteta in charge? No, I don't think the striker solves our problems. It eases the burden because you ain't got to put up with a midfield player playing up front, but actually solve our problems. Not while this manager's in charge. And I've said
Arteta is the problem. So.
Arteta's the problem. And this is, I mean, me and Shane, we take stick over this. And by the way, we were the only two that said if he wins the Champions League, I'd still want him gone. And Shane said it as well, didn't you, Shane, if I can remember?
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I got crucified for it. I was saying that from the second I started doing my channel. People were stunned, and I was saying it's about the long-term future of the club. The damage is already done. The damage is done. Winning that would just paper over the cracks. Winning the League Cup last season would have papered over the cracks. The problem lies in this man not being able to, not caring about the club, only care about himself, the injuries, the ridiculous wage, the tin squad. It all comes back to him, the tactics, and especially the mentality that he has managed to make settle on this club now that, you know, Aaron says he just look around the stadium sometime at just at all these guys that are just accepting mediocrity, just accepting it, giving out to him for booing terrible.
All ages, Shane. All ages.
All ages.
You can't even...
Arteta has worked this, man. He's worked this by constantly saying journey guys and phases guys and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. People have accepted that this is, even the mainstream media now are saying, oh, Arsenal should just be happy for what they do. When did this start? You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's all ages though, Shane. I mean, you know, I've got to be honest, and I apologise, I'm not like ageist or anything like that, but I thought it was mainly the young fans that this is the best they've ever known, and they've not really seen like the double winning teams under George Graham and men like this. But as it's gone on, I've got fans my age and older saying like, what are you talking about? This guy's this I swear by this guy, give him another 2 years. And I'm going, are you deluded? I can't get my head around it. Would you sell Jesus? Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. Shane, yeah, we both would. Think he's worse than Havertz? Yes, I would say he is.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Up front, no, up front is not. But he's more of a burden than Havertz. He's more of a burden than Havertz.
Yeah, he's injury prone as well, and let's be honest, he Man City wouldn't have got rid of him at that time if they thought that he was of any value. Do you know what I mean? But no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But big up the chat. Thank you very much, everyone, for your comments and everything. And make sure that you're subbing and smashing the likes. Very important for us. We're trying to build up the community on here and Shane, and you know, there's a nice little. There's some real ones around, thank goodness. Yeah. Can you imagine, guys, if we wasn't doing this sort of thing, what you'd be listening to every day, day in and day out? You would only listen to everything beautiful about Arteta, everything beautiful about the club, everything wonderful. Can you imagine it? Listen, I go to the games still, and trust me, there's a lot of rumblings that, you know, it's not good at all. Shane, before we kind of wrap up, my friend, as well, because I'm conscious that, you know, it's getting near tea time and you've probably got other streams and all of that. Few predictions for next season. Who do you think's going to be okay, let's break it down this way. Who's going to be the surprise package, do you think, next season? Who's going to be that team that kind of, you know, you always get one, don't you, that sort of like creeps into the top four? You had Nottingham Forest, didn't you, for long periods of time, didn't you, this season? Yeah. Who do you think will be the surprise package next season?
If they get Gyökeres and Mbeumo United, if they get the two of them over the line and they already have Cunha, it would be them. But at United, they could either finish 4th or 15th. You know what I mean? You just don't know with them. They're so unpredictable. But I think Forest will fall away. Villa will be back again. I think Villa will be back again. I can see them signing Guendouzi, players like that, and just building on what they already have.
Guendouzi, really?
I'd say so. He's balling out in Italy, and Emery loves him. He signed him for Arsenal. He was one of my favourite players.
I was gutted when he went. I've got to be honest. I was absolutely gutted. I thought
player you need, man. Absolute baller, man.
Yeah. He would have been
the ball back, great on the ball, like the goal in an important game.
Yeah.
Like to get stuck in.
He had a bit of swagger about him. He had a bit of attitude about him. He had a bit of nastiness about him. All the ingredients you need from a top midfield player.
Yeah, to win leagues, you need players like that. But
you name me a midfield player that's squeaky, that's a nice young man. Roy Keane had that streak about him. Vieira.
Yeah, Vieira. Yeah.
I'm talking like I'm even going back to like Tim Sherwood at Blackburn and people like that.
Scholes had a nasty streak in him as well. Scholes like to fucking break people up if they got
Scholes.
You know what I mean? Gerrard had a nasty streak in him. Lampard could put up for himself. He had a bit of swagger as well. They all need it. But as for challenging for the league, I think it's between City and Liverpool again. If Newcastle make 2 big signings, surely they have money now because they haven't spent in ages. If they get in a top defender, maybe a keeper, and back up for Isak, then they'll challenge as well. But I think City and Liverpool are going to run away with it. And I planted my flag from the start. If this time next year, if Arteta's in charge of us on the last game of next season, we'll be outside the top 5. We'll be outside the top 5. If he gets sacked at Christmas and we get in a good manager and we're in 8th place or whatever with the squad we have, I think a good manager might get us back into the top 5 before the end of the season. But we will be outside the top 5 at the end of next season. If he's still here, we'll be outside the top 5.
Can you imagine, man? No, I agree. I think it'll be Liverpool, Man City. I think Man United will be better. Whether they're going to actually push, I don't really know. Depends.
I don't think so, but it depends. Like I'm on with you that if it is a surprise package, maybe
they could be the surprise team. Yeah. I think Aston Villa will be strong again. Newcastle.
Chelsea.
What about Chelsea, Shane? How do you stand on Chelsea?
If they get a top striker, I know they got the lap. There's talk now that Osimhen might go there, or if they get, I think Gyökeres would go there over us as well if the United doesn't go through.
Yeah,
if they get a top striker and they let the manager settle. I don't rate him as a manager, but they can't get rid of another one straight away. They need to give him a chance. But I think Chelsea, Hengedi, I think they'll be there and thereabouts for the 3rd, 4th places. Newcastle will be ahead of us. I think Chelsea have a better squad than us. Newcastle have a better first team than us. And they all have better managers. That's the main thing.
But the thing is as well, we've got 6 teams in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Spurs. I mean, Spurs under Thomas Frank, we don't quite know. They might have a new manager bounce, mightn't they? I think they'll be better than last season. Spurs, 100%. I don't think he'll change much the way he plays at Brentford. But what he does like to do, he does like to get midfield players bombing on from deep.
Yeah.
Every time I watch Brentford at the Emirates, they've looked dangerous. Every single time they get midfield players really, really attacking from deep positions and quick as well. And if he gets Spurs in that sort of mood, it's going to be tough. And even the teams that are coming up, I mean, they're big teams, aren't they? With money and squads like Leeds, that's not going to be an easy place to go, is it?
No, never is. Never is. And Burnley's not nice to go to either, man.
No,
Burnley's not nice
exactly.
To go to either.
There's no gimmies next season, my friend. There's no gimmies next season. No disrespects to Southampton and Ipswich and Leicester. They were pretty much of a disgrace, really.
If even one of them had been good, Tottenham would have been looking over their shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. But Leeds, always a tough place to go. No, for me, I reckon it'd be Liverpool, Man City, and then I reckon it's out of about 5 or 6 teams for top 4. I wouldn't even confidently say that it's going to be us for the top 2.
No, I don't think we'll get close to it.
No, it's going to be tough. Absolutely tough. And you got to remember as well, though, Shane, I mean, that's another thing as well. I mean, people like Saka's coming back from injury. He still don't look 100% fit for me.
Timber an operation.
Yeah. Odegaard operation.
Yeah.
Ben White. there's still a lot of players.
Gabriel's coming back from a grade 3 hamstring, and so is Havertz.
That's going to be a worry for me.
Mm-hmm.
That is a worry, because one thing you cannot carry is a grade 3 hamstring when you're playing centre half, because he wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he, that guy? Yeah. And he's up for corners, he's jumping, he's heading, he's he's challenging. Yeah, no, it's going to be tough.
All played over the top when you have to spin like that, about pace.
Yeah,
before you can even think about it.
Oh, no, thanks, mate.
I was saying it on Aaron's, that out of the 8 players that have been sort of seriously injured, talking about Tomiyasu, Gabriel Jesus, Saka, all these lads, out of the 8 of them, you can nearly bet your house that 4 of them minimum won't be the same again. So we're looking at just damaged goods all over the squad, and it all comes back to he caused every single one of these injuries. Every single one of them are on his hands. Odegaard got injured on international, so I'll let him away with that. But he did play him while he was injured. He rushed him back, because a week after he rushed him back was the international break, and he went away to Norway, and the physio said, "What are you doing here? You're injured." Sent him home. That's happened with Martinelli. Brazilian physio sent him home. Just the other day, Saka, the physio, sent him home for England. He said all these players are injured, and he's still playing them.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy, and they've got to give 100%. They've got to defend. They've got to be up and down. Big up, Billy. Liverpool and Arsenal not in the Club World Cup. Be huge. United formation too easy to play against. Another average season for them. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think the manager is similar to our manager. I don't think he's the right man for Man United. Personally, at the end of the day, as for the Club World Cup, I don't think Chelsea and Man City are going to be too bothered about that. I think there'll be a lot of rotation. There'll be a lot of fringe players. I think they'll treat
£1 billion for the winner, though, isn't there?
It is a few quid for the winner, but I'm not so sure. I think that'll be a very glorified pre-season friendlies, personally. John, you're concerned about the striker situation? Yeah, we're all concerned about the striker situation. Thanks for saying it, iView. Shane, yeah. Big up, my friend, as always, legend. Make sure you're subbing, guys. Yes, smash the likes. And for both of us, Shane GOONER, as always, we're going to be wrapping it up soon. It's been awesome, guys, and thank you to chat, as always. I'm concerned about all the situations. Yeah, listen, Danny. We're all concerned, mate. We're all concerned. It's an edgy summer for me, and it's an edgy summer for a lot of Arsenal fans. All I'll say to wrap it up is, if we get the signings through the door, it will give you a little bit of a lift. Yeah. At least then you have got some striker in place. Zubimendi, he's not a rotten player. He's not my choice. He's a bit like for like. But it's added to the squad. It strengthens the squad in certain areas. Other than that, I don't want Garnachos. I don't want us making desperate signings. I still think we need a left-sided player. I don't know about you, Shane. I think that's another position that we heavily need to look at.
Without a doubt. We need cover for Saka. We need a proper left winger. And if it was to get a left winger, that's good. I would sell Martinelli over Trossard, just for the sheer reason that Trossard is better off the bench, and you might get more money for Martinelli. And I think Martinelli, for him, I'd want him to leave. I'd want him to go somewhere and play some real football, because he's an electric player when he's let off the leash. I think Arteta's done so much damage to him mentally that he just it might take a while. But I think if he went to Spain or somewhere like that, he'd ball out, man. He would ball out if he left. And so for him, I'd like him to go, and for us, because I just don't see him ever improving under us anymore. So if we were to get in a left winger, I'd use Trossard as the impact sub, start this left winger for good, and then ship Martinelli off, get a bit of money for him, and let him flourish somewhere else, because he deserves it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But before we go, Shane, just give me two players who you think could go out. And I mean, I don't mean about the obvious choice. Out of our first sort of 11, first 13, if you like, included the bench. If we were to sell two players, who would you put your money on that the two players would go? I think it would be Trossard and Martinelli if offers came in for them. Who do you think would go?
Martinelli, definitely. And then I won't include Fabio Vieira and all them because we know that they'd go if any bid came in. But out of the first 11, yeah, I'd go with you as well. Trossard, Martinelli, I think are the two most likely to go. Trossard might go to Saudi or something like that, and Martinelli because apart from Saliba, he's one of the only ones we can really make a profit off for what we spent on them. You know what I mean, you wouldn't make a profit off Rice. You wouldn't get that 105 million back for him. As good as he is, you wouldn't get 105 million for him. You might get 80 million. Saliba, we can make a big profit off for what we paid for him. But let's remember that both of them were signed by Emery. The two players we can still make a profit off are signed by Emery, not by this manager. You know what I mean? That's all you need to know. That's
you couldn't write it, could you? You just couldn't write it. Honestly, it is a complete merry-go-round. And listen, I know I wind everyone up with this. It's a circus. It has been a circus. It's been a circus. The wages, the signings, for how long it takes to get people in the door, for how long it takes to get rid of players injuries. It's just been a mess. It's just been a complete and utter mess, you know. But no. But anyway, guys, thank you all very much for joining us this afternoon, early evening. Really appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. Make sure you sub. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you also follow and sub to this man here, Shane GOONER, and smash the likes as well. And all the other real ones around, you know, there's a few of us out there. So make sure that you follow and sub to the real ones, guys. And bless and love as always. Shane, what you got coming up, my friend? I know you're quite busy these days.
Yeah. I've got a show at 7:30 tonight on my channel called Clean Through 1-on-1. It's something I've started with Views on Sport, absolute legends. So it's just the two of us sort of having a laugh with the people in the chat. We'll go through the news and stuff like that. Tonight we're going to be watching the Ireland-England games. He'll watch the England game, I'll watch the Ireland game. We'll just have it on the background and we'll sort of
nice.
People on it. But it won't be the normal show. So that's at 7:30. So make sure you smash the notification. And of course, every morning at 10:30, the full Irish. That's a set thing. So there'll be that, and there'll be lots of other stuff in and around. But the most sort of urgent ones are 7:30 tonight and 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no,
so
that's wicked.
Big up DJB for having me on, man.
No, Shane, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend, and I can't thank you enough for all my guests. I'm so honoured to have everyone on with me, and it's great. I've got Jez tonight. Jez is doing a show tonight, so you will see me on Don Jez's show, which I'm looking forward to. So just time to have something to eat and a cup of tea, and then we get going again. That's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about. Yeah, but big up everyone. And on that note, I will bid everyone farewell and look after yourselves. Thanks for watching. Sub, smash the likes. We're gone. Peace.